KCAA Loma Linda.
Welcome to another delicious edition of the Let's Dine Out Show, our first show in 2023. Food critic Allan Borgen here.
And Izzy Bussy.
And happy, healthy, and happy New Year for everybody out there listening. And you too, Izzy, and your family. And
thank you. Happy New Year to you, too.
I know. So, yeah, it should be fun. I'm looking forward to a lot of fun things. It's been rough the last couple of years. And this last year has been a little better, I think. Towards the end of it, at least, it's been really good. And hopefully all the other stuff that's going on in China will be resolved and won't be any problems there. So,
okay.
If not, then we deal with it, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Well, we don't have any choice, do we?
Nope. Nope. But we have a fun show today. We just got back from a wonderful trip to Cancun. And if you've never been there, there's a lot of myths about people who are like, "Ooh, you're going to go there, it's unsafe," and blah, blah, blah. Well, we're going to dispel some of those and let people know about that. And the goods and the bads, the place we went to, but mostly goods, I think. And then we have I'm going to do my customary culinary wish list I've done for, 15, 20 years on radio. And this year is a new one, and it's a little different. I was really thinking on ways of, helping what I want to see happen especially the Inland Empire, but it applies to a lot of other cities too. And then later on, we're going to have a guest on talking about an incredible dessert, which Izzy and I tried. It's like a fudgy topping. It's really unusual.
Sinful.
It's very sinful.
It was sinful.
From New Orleans. So anyway, we have a fun show today. So let's start with our Cancun, I guess is the best way of doing it. We had to, how do I say this? Izzy had a voucher for an airlines that we had to use, which is ridiculous because it should be ongoing.
The year before, I bought a full-price plane ticket, and because of the weather, I had to cancel the flight because there were no flights going out. So I canceled it, and of course, the credit is there. It's been there for a year, and lo and behold, it's expiring. And since I paid for it, $1,000 worth, it's kind of like use it or lose it. So, I'm the type like, well, instead of giving $1,000 away, I might as well use it and enjoy it.
So, of course, Alan, Mr. News here, always on top of things. I decided, Izzy says, where do you want to go? I said, let's go to New Orleans or Charlotte, South Carolina,
Memphis.
North Carolina, Memphis, and all these good places. Then there's something that came up called the storm and terrible weather. So that squashed that real quick. And we were trying to think where else. And Honolulu, Hawaii, that wasn't feasible. It was all filled up. So we wound up going to Cancun. And I have to admit, I went on a cruise about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I guess, to Cabo San Lucas and where else?
Puerto
Vallarta and Ensenada. And it was okay. It's Mexico. But and I like Mexico, don't get me wrong, but that was okay. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to go.
I like Puerto Vallarta. I thought it was nice. Yeah.
They're all nice. It's just the same stuff over and over and over. So I thought, okay, let's just go to this place here in Cancun and see if that's, hopefully it'll be a little different. And first of all, it was very different. I was very, very happy with, we got there. Of course, it was raining. No big deal.
No, it was raining. It wasn't just sprinkling. It was pouring down rain.
It was raining. Yeah, it was raining.
It was like full-blown, like wind blowing, the whole 9 yards.
And so we're waiting. We paid for a transfer.
Prepaid.
Pick us up, praying for it. And it was kind of like who's on first, what's on second. It was
total chaos.
Total chaos. Not just for us, for everybody.
It was total, massive chaos.
And I think a lot of people, because of the rain, a lot of the taxis and transfers, got stuck
I think they
somewhere.
couldn't get there, or they, got stuck somewhere else. And
anyway, it worked out okay. It was funny. They told us just
2 hours later,
they said,
staying there.
Look for Jose, and there a red sign. Well,
yeah,
good
exactly.
luck.
Just picture like a whole stadium full of people, and everybody staying around with like their vans and everything with a clipboard. Like, okay, so everybody looks alike. At this point, because it's just massive people everywhere. So it's just like, we'll end up walking one place, and it's like, no, go all the way back. So go all the way back. So it just took us 2 hours just not navigating. Once we found it, it took them like just an hour and a half just to get transportation.
Yeah, like I said, I think
and
the rain.
at this point, it's like, okay, I already paid for it. So I'm like, oh, man, it was too late to go. Let me hop on a taxi. So I was like, oh crap.
So anyway, we got picked up.
Yep.
And we were taken to the main city. This is a little bit outside.
Well, the hotel
city.
zone, because
Yeah.
they have some, Cancun. There's like Playa del Carmen, which is different area. There's the Tulum area, is a different area. So there's different areas you can go. We went to the main strip, which is where all the hotels are. Called
And we're
Hotel
talking
Zone.
lots and lots of. These are major
Resorts.
hotels. It looks like
It's
Vegas.
not a hotel. It's like a resort.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. I mean, lights and everything are really beautiful. And first of all, in terms of safety, they wouldn't let us in until they checked. We were on the list. They checked us. They taxis aren't allowed in there unless it's past the guard and everything. So that was nice for all of the resorts. So that was really nice to see. We got there. We helped with our bags and everything, and beautiful entryway into a hotel, which we'll talk about. And we were greeted with a freshly squeezed pineapple juice with a little, what was it, like a banana leaf in it. It was
It's
just a
actually
nice
the pineapple spear.
pineapple here. Okay.
Yeah, and I think they put agave and something else. They said they could put tequila.
It's a
and
nice
we're like,
touch.
oh, no tequila. So
Nice
we did
touch.
the virgin.
And anyway, it's called the Royalton. And
Royalton Chic.
C-H-I-C.
There's several Royalton resorts in Cancun, but this one seems to have the best rating. And since I'm a Marriott member, this is their autograph collection, which means that they're basically partners with these high-end resorts to make or boutique hotels to be autograph collection. So it's all inclusive. So why not? Use my points.
So food, booze. I mean, pretty much everything's included.
All you can eat, drink.
Now it's
whatever.
It's right off the beach. Our room we have was a nice room. It was like a junior suite. It's
Oceanfront.
overlooking the ocean. I mean, beautiful scenery. Ocean is blue and green like you picture, and
Clear,
everywhere
white
else.
sands.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. Very nice staff, very friendly. Okay, so that we got there. So we took we were late. We got in late
Because waiting 2 hours, because we got in early actually enough to, I think it would have if we got on a car or something, it's about an hour drive with traffic, whatever, to get there from the airport. But it's literally because it's delayed, we got scrambled in at about 8.
Right.
Yeah, I think 8.
And
8:30.
everything was near closing. So the only thing open was a buffet, which you're like, okay, we have no choice.
Till
But,
10 o'clock. Yep.
Right. But this is a great buffet. I was shocked. I mean, it had pretty much everything you wanted. It had about 7 or 8 or 9 different ceviches, lots of fresh fruits, cheeses, Mexican cheeses, lots of them. Everything, every kind of Mexican food you can think of, not traditional Mexican food. Food from the Yucatan is very, very different than mainstream Mexican, I would say, very regional.
It's more like stews. A lot of their dishes, to me, like there's a lot more. Seems like there's different spices they use.
Yeah, different spices.
The dishes that we saw, a lot of them are like almost like homemade stews.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
they
cochinita pibil, which is
Yeah.
that's their signature dish, which is pork. It's usually cooked underground with banana leaves and achiote paste on it. Delicious.
Yeah, chipotle and achiote is like the 2 main spice in Yucatan, I guess. Were explained by a tour
Plus
guide.
limes and garlic and onions.
Because
So
they have such a plethora of like jungle, like lots of green. So their chili and their produce is very different than other parts of
their
Mexico.
limes are like so juicy. I mean,
Oh my god,
nothing like we've had here.
like big, juicy, plumpy ones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really, really good. So, and then the different stations. The one that got me was that they had tuna, salmon. They grill it for you. Scallops, not the little puny ones, anorexic scallops. They had the big, giant ones. I mean, 4 or 5 of those are like $25, $30 at a restaurant.
and jumbo shrimp, like
And
prawns.
Gigantic shrimp, and you can have as much as you want. And everything. So buffet was very good, and my first thought was, wow, if all the food it's going to be fantastic if all food was like this.
Yeah, I didn't even make it to the dessert because there was so much
Oh,
stuff.
they had so much stuff, yeah.
Yeah, they were like, because they'll make it as you order crepes, fresh crepes, to put whatever you want in it, and they didn't use like market ready stuff. Like they made all their own like chocolate and caramel,
Right.
and like all that stuff was house made. So it's a little bit different and tastes a little bit different. And, they even have their own ice cream they make from scratch. So it was really impressive. I thought the spread.
Paella was wonderful. I mean, just a lot of stuff.
Huge paella.
It was probably the biggest buffet I've ever been to that had so much variety of food. And I was really glad it wasn't just Americanized. I mean, it was really, really good. So, okay, that was then. In terms of the other restaurants, it was hit and miss. I have to be honest. First of all, the hotel, let's start with that. Hotel was gorgeous. Very, very clean, very polite staff, very sanitized everywhere you go. There's stations. A lot of staff wore masks. Some did, some didn't. But they really watched you, number one. Security. A lot of people, thought, oh, Mexico, it's so unsafe. Parts of it is unsafe, just like anywhere else in California. Guess what? But there it was very safe. I would go back again, and I plan to.
Yeah,
it was that good.
This resort itself, you look up and down, we're on because a lot of the Yucatan, a lot of the Cancun hotels are on, they didn't have a beachfront, or if they have a beachfront, it's real little. So it's a lot more like rocks kind of thing, or green vegetation growing. In front of this hotel, it's all white sand, and it's the most, I would say, equipped, oceanside.
Oh, you couldn't ask
yeah,
any better.
If you look up and down you can see up and down from where we're at in our room, you can see up and down the strip of coast, and it's the most happening outdoors sand place you can get.
Plus, on the top floor, they have a big giant swimming pool, 2 of them, I think. And they have all kinds of
5 pools on this.
All kinds of party stuff. I mean,
swim up bar, the whole 9 yards. You would think a resort should have. Yeah.
The one I thought was fun would they have like soap
bubble
suds,
machine,
bubbles. I mean, almost like soap suds.
So it's like a ankle high water, like about ankle or whatever, depends on your height, I guess. And they're blowing bubbles, so you're like in this massive bubble bath, and you get to dance. So they have the DJs spinning music. It was pretty happening. I thought it was really neat. And there's cabanas you can lay in.
And there's restaurants on there, so they bring it to you if you want. And again,
there's
it's all
food every turn, every
food
corner.
And drink. This is definitely a great place for if you like drinking any kind of beverages, food, beer, wine, whatever. Any premium drinks, it's a few dollars more. It's not that much more, but very, very enjoyable. In terms of restaurants, they had like 4 or 5. One, they had a Asian type of restaurant.
Asian fusion.
Fusion. I think that fusion is what, anyway, it is what it was. I thought, my problem is the menu said one thing, and I find that more and more in just regular restaurants. It says one thing, but it's something else. But the problem is when it says like stone crab or real crab, and it comes out imitation crab, if you're allergic to imitation crab, you can die from this stuff. So I didn't like that. I didn't appreciate that. So I found that kind of throughout the whole, all the menus. And
well, when we travel, I think we've noticed that even in other places, right? I mean, description's not exactly what the dish comes out to be.
Which is very annoying because you order it, your eyes and mouth and say, oh, wow, this sounds good. And it comes out to you like, wait a minute, that's not it. So
yeah, I try not have any expectations. So I try to oh, okay, looks good, tastes good. Oh, well, I have no expectations. So,
Well, I didn't afterwards. After this one. The main entrees we had was a miso sea bass, I think. That was good. And it was another
tamarind.
Yeah, it was a
tamarind grouper.
Grouper, and that was really good too. So, but everything else was so. Then we were going to go to the Italian, and everyone's saying it's not that good, so we didn't go there. They had a place where they brought pizzas, make homemade pizzas, or not homemade, but
it's a walk-up pizza.
Yeah,
takeaway.
And that was halfway decent.
Window, which is neat because that filled the void of when other restaurants may be closed, or so it kind of they have different places you can go to. There's some sort of food.
Right. Then there was a steakhouse. Now this is like we're signature steakhouse and everything, and the steaks were really good. We had
you can order extra to get a lobster tail and tomahawk steak and all these.
Yeah, you got to pay a little extra for some of that stuff. But the steak, I mean, you can't go wrong with a good fillet, and it was very good. We had other items there that weren't that good, and it was just kind of The sides were awful. Cream spinach, it was like spinach thrown into a bowl. Milk was poured in it. Yeah, it was awful. I mean, but
main ingredients, the cream spinach was onions.
But they call it cream spinach.
Which is bizarre because all you see is this chunks of onions.
I know.
And I'm just like,
But like
okay.
Izzy, the optimist, said, "Well, it's a fusion restaurant." Or that was the other one, I guess. But
No, the other one.
everything around here is a little bit different. So anyway, the steakhouse is so. But if you go there, go for the steaks. The steaks are great.
And after, we had a chance actually talking to the chef, we did, I think that the quality that did improved a little bit, don't you think?
Well, we had one or two meals afterwards. I mentioned to him some of the complaints. Not so much. I'm not there to complain. I'm there to bring the level up because the facility was great, and I'd go back.
It's a beautiful
I would definitely
property.
go back again.
He
but
might bring some protein shakes.
I might bring
though.
my own meals, but yeah, I should have brought some more protein bars. But and he agreed a lot of problems, and it wasn't him. I mean, the company, they hire a chef who writes the menus out, but the menu and what they get are two different things. And it's like any restaurant. When you have staff, they have a hard problem finding staff there too, just like everywhere else in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to teach people to make things that they've never done before. So regardless, that was one thing. They had a Mexican restaurant. That was okay. It was real pretty inside, very small, but very nice. They had some good dishes there. I had no complaints, not too many complaints about that at least.
No.
What else is there? The buffet. The buffet, it's a giant buffet. It wasn't as good, obviously, as the first night. That was a special one. It was
it was Christmas Eve.
It was a Christmas Eve one, so I found out afterwards. But a lot of the stuff they had a big variety of stuff. Some stuff was really good. Something wasn't good. My biggest complaint was they didn't come around and scoop this stuff out, freshen it up, and it just so things are baking in there. It looks forever. The other thing too is if you come there first, you're fine. Within the first hour or so after they open, that's the time to come. We sometimes came late, and that's what we got. So, but they always had two sides of the grill. Regular two
made
grills.
to order steaks. I mean, the way you want it. So I mean, I really have no complaints. I mean, you can eat around the stuff you don't like, or you didn't think that was as good.
Well, they had lox, the smoked salmon, the cream cheese and bagels. So
they have great.
I was happy.
There's all kinds of different types of food. So, you can mix some pasta with like your steak, or you can have you can surf and turf it. I mean, it's pretty.
No, it was good. I mean,
I ate almost every meal like seared tuna.
Yeah.
With like scallops or shrimp, so I was happy.
Yeah, but my only complaint, like I said, was I've had seared tuna there too. The first time it was great. The second time it was overcooked, so it was dried out. So that's that kind of thing. You got to be on top of them and saying that's it, no more. Pick it up and they do that.
I think when you travel, there's always a language issue, so you have to give. I mean, if you go to their country, you don't know what they're talking about either. So it's the same thing. So, I mean, I just tell the guy, "Oh, it's done. He go, okay, I'll take it off. And so mine always done come out
well,
right.
You're cute. Of course they'll do that. They'll listen to you. Me, they're like, yeah, let the fat guy talk all he wants. So, but anyway, the breakfast we had going out, it was very good. They made some, breakfast burritos, but really good stuff. I mean, I was very happy with that.
Made to order eggs.
Yeah, everything. So, what was the other one? Let's see, it was the Asian, Mexican, Italian, I guess a steak. That was it. In the buffet,
and then poolside, they did have a barbecue when it's sunny. When it's not sunny, then everything kind of shuts down because it's pouring down rain. They can't exactly grill poolside. But when they grill poolside, they have fresh coconuts. They'll cut open for you, cut it open there with a machete.
How many did you eat? 4?
4. I had 4.
Yeah, she never had a fresh, but she's had it, but not fresh where they just take it off.
Well, I haven't had it for a long time. I've traveled to tropics, and they do that on the side of the road. They chop it with a machete, and they open it up. You can just eat it. And it was neat because, coconut's abundance grows on every palm tree you can see. Literally, we look out and then, there's coconuts growing.
I know it's very good. A lot of people, it's just a nice, thing. I was happy they didn't make everything Americanized, boring Americanized. I didn't see that many fast food restaurants there. Maybe 4, I saw 3 or 4, and that was it. So I was very happy about that. So we went to one restaurant that was amazing. It was probably the best one I've been to in years.
Actually, we went to 2. Even the hotel. So we had to, because the last minute booking, literally booked it on a Monday, left on a Saturday. So, I mean, it's pretty dang good that I got even a room around the holidays, especially it's their high season. And so, I only got up to 29th, and I had to we had to move hotels, so we had to move to another hotel, which is Renaissance at the Marina, which is closer to downtown.
And they have a
Cancun.
beautiful mall there. It's a
Yeah,
walk
it's
around
all
mall.
walkways.
Really nice. And they had a great restaurant.
Tons of restaurants.
Is it GAO?
No, CAO.
CAO.
Cow.
And you go inside, it's all loud music and stuff, but the food was magnificent. Really nice, nice platings and stuff. We had octopus, which was phenomenal.
Melts it in your mouth.
And at their table, they made nitrogen ice cream for you, or they made tiramisu tableside for you, which
they even grilled. There's like a 2-person steak thing. They actually do tableside for you too, and which is really fascinating. But we already had a lot of steak and fish, whatever, at the other resort. So we're like, oh, let's try something else, anything other but. So we did. We tried other stuff, and they all every dish was amazing.
Yeah, I want to have them on. In fact, they own about 6 or 7 of them, and one of them is Senor Frogs, which is everywhere.
It's called the Anderson Group, and they actually own all these restaurants all throughout Mexico. Or Latin America.
But very impressed.
Yeah, so I was really impressed. The food quality was amazing. Service was amazing. I just thought it was a really nice.
Right. And again, the streets, everything is clean. We didn't see any homeless. We didn't see any beggars. Very little graffiti. Just some we saw in the downtown area, but not much. But it was very clean. I was shocked with that.
Well, probably with all the rain, it washes everything away.
But I think
because we had rain almost 4 days out of those 7 we were there. So
it was a good rain. It wasn't that bad.
It was pouring down rain.
But it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. So we went on one tour. We went on a bus ride. It's 14 hours total the whole day. We went to Chichen Itza, which is a pyramid that Mayan pyramid, and it was fascinating. The tour guide, it was a big bus. He spoke very good English, and just a lot of history, and very proud people. And the people who live in Yucatan, they don't consider themselves Hispanic, Mexican. They don't consider it part of Mexico, which is really strange. My friend who used to own a restaurant here in the Inland Empire told me that, and then I can see that here. They're very proud people. The Mayans.
Well, I think even their dishes are totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very rare. I don't think any there were most of the dishes we found. We hardly found any beans or rice. Wasn't a lot of quesadilla, that kind of thing. It was mostly a lot of local Yucatan, what they eat.
Right.
So it's a little bit different.
Right.
A lot of it's probably originated from being out in the jungles, and the Mayans were cooking a certain way. So it got passed down to generations, and because of the abundance of produce, I mean, it's just really, I really like the cuisine.
It was very good. So, but Chichen Itza is a great. It's a long day, but it doesn't cost that much. But it's well worth going to. So I highly recommend that. In terms of another cruise, we went on another tour. It was a small island, right across. It's about a half-hour ferry boat you take, a half-hour boat ride there.
Across from Cancun, yep.
And it was called, Izzy, do you remember the name?
Isla Mujeres. Okay, I'm going to kill this.
Isla Mujeres?
Yeah, Mujeres, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And I wasn't expecting much. I thought, no, just a small island. It was hopping. There was so many people. The stores were a lot different than you find at other Mexican cities. They had a little bit of everything. You rent a golf cart. We got there late, so they ran out. They only had 2 hours, and we decided not to, so we took a tour.
Yeah, because it's like you can rent a golf cart all day.
It's 5 miles long and I want to say a half mile wide, so it's not a big island, but a lot of stuff to see. And
if you want to go snorkeling, you can go snorkeling. If they do protect the wildlife. We watched this video on the way over in the ferry, and they showed how they protect the wildlife. They encourage people not to buy any seashells, not to buy any sea coral or anything, so that these things are not being removed from protected, their ocean. So that was real. I was really impressed. And they even tell people, okay, pick up your own trash, throw it where the bins are supposed to be. And we did find this, this whole entire island there's no trash around. We didn't see trash around at all. So
very unique, it was just
really.
So I guess to sum it up, we both really like Cancun. We definitely going to want to go back there, and there's so many resorts there. They all some of them look magnificent. I mean, it's like whoa.
Well, the
how do you
nice
pick
thing
one?
is that you get there, you don't ever, if you go to a resort that has everything you want,
You don't have to leave.
you don't have to ever leave. You don't have to navigate the streets. You don't have to worry about people. You don't have to worry about, oh, is it not going to be safe? Well, you're in the compound, basically, your own compound and the waterfront. How I don't know, like that's
And
like
all the-
ultimate
and all the-
location for me.
And all the food and all the drinks you want.
Yep,
So,
exactly.
Anyway, so okay, that was our trip there, and really enjoyed it. And I was relaxed until we came back, and then weather came here, a lot more rain, and it's been raining
We'll
here.
continue with the rain situation. We landed with pouring down rain. I'm like, okay, so this is a theme: leaving and getting there in pouring down rain, and coming home
And
with
freezing.
pouring down rain.
It was like 46 degrees, 45 degrees.
Well, we went from 80 something degrees to 40, so your body's
I
like
lay
in
out-
shock.
Yeah, I had no
you know?
jacket. We didn't have a jacket or anything. So, but anyway, it was a fun trip. So,
Yeah.
okay, well, a couple of things here for want to thank our sponsors. One is All Magic Paint and Body. It's family owned, and they offer state of the art equipment and tools to really ensure optimum results. They use the latest technology and computerized color matching, specialize in frame repair with their modern laser measuring system, and they're OEM certified, whatever that means. It's got to be important because not everybody is. All Magic Paint and Body offers rental car assistance with free drop-off and pickup services, and their work has a lifetime guarantee, which I never heard of. I've had, other body shops I've used, but nothing like this. So, anyway, All Magic Auto Paint and Body Collision Centers are located in Norco, Eastvale, Moreno Valley, and in Fontana, and visit them on allmagicauto.com. That's all, A-L-L, magicauto.com. And again, I highly recommend them. My car was rear-ended. You couldn't even ever tell. It drives great. It looks fantastic. And I just really like them, and I highly recommend them. Another great sponsor that we have is Ray's.
Is Ray's Shanghai Bistro. They're located next to Redlands DMV, but they're about to move
Within the next 2-3 weeks.
to the packing house area, right?
Yeah, much beautiful restaurant, bigger.
Huge facility. And right now they're kind of small. It's on Lagonia, but they offer the largest, most delicious, and to me, I think is the most traditional and some authentic Chinese dishes in the Inland Empire. It's hard to find authentic in
Right.
this neck of the woods. So I just really enjoy their dishes. Some of my favorite are the house-made pot stickers. They make their own pork soup dumplings. They do crispy pork spare ribs with garlic. They do a spicy lamb with cumin or spicy lamb with bamboo. The sweet and tangy deep-fried orange peel beef, which is one of our favorite, and the savory basil spicy shrimp, plus lots of vegetarian dishes, which include one of Allan's favorite.
I never used to like it, but this is my favorite soup there. It's a hot and sour soup, but what's nice is it has a little heat to it. It's got back of the throat hit, what do you call it, chili hit. And just it's really delicious. It's thick enough. It's not. Sometimes it's too thick. Sometimes it's too thin. It's just made perfect.
Yeah.
And I really like it. Staff are very nice. The owners are always there to ensure great quality of food. The owner he's in the back cooking, giving
He's
orders.
one the chef.
Right? And then Masha is in front. She's making sure everybody does okay there. So, but again, it's really good. And it's called Ray's, RUI''S. And why don't you give some more information?
Ray's Shanghai Bistro.net is their website. RUISSHANGHAI Shanghai Bistro BISTRO.net. That's Ray Shanghai Bistro.net. Whether you dine in or pick up food to go or have them cater your next party or special occasion, you'll see why Ray's is one of the truly best Chinese restaurant in the Inland Empire. And
Good.
I totally agree.
Good. Also want to talk about Cowboy Burgers and Barbecue. They're located on Arlington in Riverside, and I've known this family for, well over 20 years. They own a couple other restaurants. One in, I think they had two in Fontana. And I've always liked their food, but the one here in Arlington just opened up. It's a lot closer for me, at least. And they make the best burgers. I can't believe how Izzy doesn't like burgers at all. I mean, it's like, ooh, we have to eat a burger. But every time we go there, I go by it. Can you stop by and get them for me? So the burgers are really, really good. But they also have great barbecue. They have ribs, baby back ribs. They have pulled pork.
And
have
they do
chicken.
make it on site. They have a smoker. They make it on site. You wouldn't think that. It's really unassuming, small restaurant, dining area. But they do make everything there in-house, including their sauces.
And their sides and everything. And if you like desserts, you got to get the brownie. It's incredible. Again, Izzy doesn't like brownies, but guess what, folks? We got a whole freezer of brownies I buy on her. She loves them.
Oh, it's one of the most moist,
Decadent.
rich, chocolatey brownies and I've ever had. And I'm picky. I don't really like brownie, and these are amazing. They're located at Cowboy Burger, 5573 Arlington. 5573 Arlington. And they offer, everything I've tried there, I love. Even their, like usually I don't order anything like chicken, and their chicken is
Very
really moist.
Yeah.
So and I've had it, we've had them cater one of my dog group, which is Paws of Love, and we had an event, and they cater it, and everybody was raving how good the food was. Including from the coleslaw to the potato salad, and then especially to top it up with the brownies.
And it was so good. We had it here at the station. They had it catered, and it was fantastic too. So it's Cowboy Burgers and Barbecue. Their website is Cowboy Burger. Gotta find it. They just changed it, I think. Nope, it's not up yet, but it will be coming up there. But it's Cowboy Burgers and Barbecue. If you go on and find them, you'll find other means of finding, getting their menu and stuff. But really, really good people, and the food is fantastic. So.
I totally agree. I'm really picky. Their phone number, you can call them up at 1-951-977-9454. Once again, it's 951-977-9454. And they locate at 5573 Arlington Avenue.
Yum, yum, yum. Good people. So.
Yum.
Okay, culinary wish list. For the last, 10, 15 years, I've been doing that on the radios for the other station and this station here. And so I thought this year I had to really do some thinking on this. So here it goes, folks. I kind of different than I've had in the past. Number 10, I wish cities would limit fast food restaurants. There's places for fast food restaurants. You don't have a lot of money and you're in a hurry. Fast food restaurants are okay. But sometimes there's just too many in one city. Some cities overdo it. And I get that look from Izzy. So you don't think there's too many fast food restaurants?
I don't know. I don't go fast food.
But you see them.
Yeah, I see them. But I think a lot of people that, that's where they get their meals. So I'm not against it. I don't agree. So there you go.
Okay, well, that's what it's for. Disagree. Okay, that's number 10. Number 9, I hope food prices finally drop. Once they drop, I hope they pass it on to us. That in the past, sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't, but I really hope, because it's outrageous to eat out anymore. But it's still cheaper than making food. So I have to go with that.
Well, I don't know. I never think, I'm one of those people, I think once they raise the price, it never goes back to where it used to be. It really doesn't. So I'm kind of skeptical about it ever returning to a lower price. But, I think, this high price food situation really causes a lot of people, you can't really eat healthy, because everything that's quote unquote healthy costs a lot more to eat.
But everything like
to
electricity
buy.
costs more. Look at wages. It's going up really high now. So every year it goes up. So anyway, I just hope it's a little bit less. I hope to see that.
Well, then
but also in markets too.
Well, plus our pay's not catching up, right? I'm making the same as I did probably like 15, 20 years ago. And so, things are going up, but, pay is not catching up. So that's the sad thing.
I agree. Number 8, I wish restaurants would quit calling things they are not. Again, we talked about that. They'll say stone crab, stuff with stone crab, and it's imitation crab. I see that over and over again. You see that too. We went to a buffet one time. It was actually on a cruise. And it just applies to them too. It said Mexican mole, and it was like soup. Don't call it mole. Call it something else. Chocolate, whatever. But anyway, things like that. It just bothers me, because sometimes you buy things based upon what is said it has. That's number 1. Plus, I could be allergic to something. A good example, A friend called me up, a viewer one time, asked me of great Mexican restaurants. I told him one, and I called him back like 2 days later, and hey, Fred, how'd it go? He goes, well, it was good food, but I wound up in the emergency room. I go, what? I was like, oh my God, what happened? He goes, I'm allergic to peanuts. I said, well, did you have mole? He goes, no, I had enchilada sauce, but they put peanut butter in it.
Oh my gosh.
So
Really?
at least you got to explain, even though it didn't say anything about it, they should explain it.
I totally agree on that because I'm allergic to everything underneath the sun. And I often find the descriptions don't match what you're actually getting or items of stuff that you didn't want. Normally, if I have a choice to choose it, I wouldn't want it. And they don't tell you they have it in there.
Right. No,
So,
I hate that. So,
yeah.
number 7, I wish cities would ease signage. There's still a problem with restaurants not getting bigger signs. You know, the cities are so worried about structure, and restaurants, they have to get these crappy signs sometimes, or you got to put now open or a sale or whatever, or kids eat free or anything like that. They won't allow them to do that. And I think that, as long as it's tastefully done, I don't see any problem with that. This isn't like New Mexico where everything it looks the same and everything there, but some cities or Laguna Beach or something like that. So anyway, that's been going on for ages, and that's the rules they have for some reason. So again, as long as it's tastefully done, that's all I say. 6, I wish Yelp would stop strong-arming restaurants. Still goes on. They still will take away bad reviews that aren't real, but you got to pay for it basically. So I wish that that's over with already.
Well, with them, it's like I actually, because I've been on Yelp since probably beginning when they first started. And so I'm like, I've written enough reviews, I think, okay, not about gas stations or convenience stores or God knows what people are writing about, in Yelp. But so I put in my name like, hey, like maybe I should be one of the elite Yelpers because I travel, I go all around. I think I have pretty good taste, and I'm fair with my evaluation to
Right.
amount of money and versus the food I'm getting.
Are you an elite?
Nope. They told me I need to write more reviews, and I'm like, oh, so I see people that are elite because they're writing reviews about
Crap.
AM PM.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my place to get Mountain Dew, and I'm like, really? That's the place? This is how you gonna be elite? Is so you write things about gas stations?
No, I hate
So
Yelp.
I just don't get it. So
Right. Let's see. 5, I wish people would appreciate the good, hardworking restaurant employees, for the ones that do a really good job. The restaurant employees are it's a lot of work. Let's put it that way. They really, they run their tushies off, and it's just a lot of work for the good ones. On the other hand, number 4, I wish some servers would learn how to smile. We've been to restaurants where it's like eating in a morgue. Not that I've eaten in a morgue, but they don't smile. They look like they're
Miserable.
bothering them. Yeah. Oh, I hate that.
you are bothering them.
Oh, we went to a Mexican restaurant, and the server he didn't want us to be there. Basically, he was like, oh, he was pissed off because he had to work, is what it was.
Probably. Yeah.
So number 3, I hope that people would start working again like they did before the pandemic. It's really sad when people don't want to work anymore, and I don't quite understand that. I mean, but
Well,
it's all around the world.
It's like a worldwide issue.
It's a worldwide
Yeah.
issue. I was, in Cancun. That surprised me. I thought there'd be a lots of people there, and I could see some of the problems they have when you hire people who never cooked before, whatever. So, okay. Number 2, I wish there was more regional ethnic restaurants in the Inland Empire. It seems like Mexican restaurants and Asian restaurants, there's tons of them, but they all tend to be the same. I like to have regional Mexican food or regional food or that like European
You want
food.
variety.
I want variety, but not just boring food, but really something
Well,
good.
I mean, it's not boring to everybody else, but maybe boring to you. Variety is the key. It's the word probably you want to emphasize.
Well, it's important that people try new foods. You may not like it, but try it at least. So, and then number 1 wish is I hope that people would try different foods. What a segue. I just, some people, you still mention sushi to them and ew, and you ask them, have you had it? No. Well, how can you don't earn that ooh face then. You got to at least try it. That's all I ever ask. So you agree with that one?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
so
do.
You agree with most of them?
Some of them.
Okay, we'll never understand each other. So, okay, that's what makes the show different. So, okay, well, I want to tell you about a product now that we just got samples of, and we went nuts over it. And on the line with us, whoops, I just lost her. 1 second here. Where's what? Shanasy, here she is. Shanacy Ireland. She's a food and lifestyle influencer, and she's here to talk about a new product that came out that's very, very different. And welcome to Let's Sign Out Show, Shanacy.
Guys, Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year to you too. Hope you and your family are healthy and happy and delicious New Year. How's that?
Yeah, we're getting there. It's just a wonderful time to kind of reflect on everything, set those goals. Hopefully everyone's following through with their goals on January 7th. Yeah, it's just wonderful to, as you mentioned earlier, Alan, try new things.
Right. I mean, to me, it makes life fun. And like I said, you may not like everything, and I totally agree. If you don't like it, you tried it, no problem. I have no problem with that. But I can't stand people that don't try things. My kids growing up, I made them try it, and guess what? They love eating now, and they love food. But anyway, that's a whole different topic we can do. So, okay, beginning of the new year, everyone has resolutions, and that's a big thing. And we'll talk about that in terms of some facts about New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, so this is probably not going to be a major surprise to everyone that's listening, but about 22% of New Year's resolutions actually fall off within the first week. And actually, my husband and I
That's
went
all?
to dinner. Yeah, I know. We were just discussing this, and one of his is, work out X amount of hours per week. And he was saying to me, "Oh my gosh, it's Saturday night, and I haven't even started." So, yeah. I said, well, we're going to go home and we're going to exercise tonight. But
it's hard.
Yeah, so a lot of those resolutions start off a little rough. After 4 weeks, 64% of people are like, you know what, forget it, I'm done with the resolutions. And actually, only 8% of people actually follow through with the entire year and achieve their goals. But of course, there are many tips to kind of get us through that. It doesn't have to be. Sometimes I think, Alan, we have these grandiose goals, and we're thinking, okay, I want to lose 30 pounds, but we don't have parameters set, and we don't have little mini goals per week how we're going to get there.
Right. Baby steps, right?
It is baby steps, and that's one of the things I want to kind of preach to everyone is, appreciating the process, accomplishing those goals. It takes consistency, perseverance, of course, hard work, and starting small. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, one of my goals this year is to declutter our home, as I'm sure a lot of people listening are probably thinking the same thing. Well, I'm saying to myself, okay, I'm going to do 2 projects per week. That could be as simple as organizing the silverware, or it could be as big as, tackling the pantry. It doesn't matter what it is, but if I can tackle just 2 projects per week, I think that I would have a better chance at achieving my goal when it comes to December. So as you mentioned, it's just those baby steps and setting small little parameters and small little steps and rewarding ourselves, appreciating the process. And hey, if you went to 1 workout class this week, that's probably 1 better than you did last week, that kind of thing.
I agree with that. By the way, I'm a giver, so if once your cleaning up, declutter is all done, if you need more to work on, you're invited to our house. Okay, and you could do it free. Yeah. We'll feed you and everything. So I'm a giver. Yeah, we're givers. So
I'll fly out to LA and I'll take you up on that.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I hope you have a lot of time. So, in terms of dieting and trying to lose weight, desserts are probably the hardest thing to work with. I mean, there's fresh fruit, and there's ways of getting around it, obviously. But there's some things that came out just recently that we tried that we're going to talk about now that we just loved. And let's talk about that in a little more detail.
Yeah, so I think you're referring to Bonjaville.
Right.
This is a coconut-based dessert, and this is a ganache. So for anyone listening that's thinking, what on earth is a ganache? The way I like to describe it is it's kind of an adult version of pudding. It's not the same kind of pudding that we had in our cafeteria growing up with the Jell-O. Nothing wrong with that. But the ganache is kind of an elevated flavor. It's richer. It has a thicker texture to it. And what I love about Bonjaville is it is completely coconut-based. So it's dairy-free. So it's got a little bit of a healthier edge to it. It's really rich. I think you guys got some samples.
Very rich.
They come in small little containers, and you might take a look at it and be like, you know what, that's not enough dessert for me. But I really encourage people to go ahead and try it because it's kind of that little goes a long way. They're very delicious, and you can do a variety of different things with the ganache. You can use it in your recipes. You could eat it just plain. You could take apples and dip it in it. I mean, there's so many different things you can do with this product.
Now, there's one here that you gave that was sent to me by your PR company, and I was like, wait a minute, it's a black bean brownie with Bon de Ville chocolate. Izzy's making a face already. Like, you haven't tried it, Izzy. You want to make a face?
Yeah, I'm not a beans person, so.
But this sounded really different. Very good, actually.
Yeah, you know what? I'm with you. I'm kind of like beans. If it's not green beans or maybe edamame, I kind of like shy away from it a little bit. But the wonderful thing about this recipe, this is black bean brownies with the Bon de Ville ganache topping. And what I'm going to be doing for this recipe is taking the black beans along with cocoa powder, quick oats, salt, a little bit of maple syrup, honey, or agave, anything that you want to sweeten it with. You could also use dates too if you want to use that for an all-natural sweetener. A little bit of coconut oil, vanilla, baking powder. There's a ton of stuff we're going to be throwing in a food processor, so you're not going to really taste the black beans. It's just going to give it that extra boost of protein and make it a little bit healthier. We're going to go ahead and bake these as a normal brownie, and we're going to top it with the ganache on top. So if you're still thinking, I don't know, I'm not sold, just think of the topping. And if you just want, just lick the topping off and just eat it that way. But these brownies are really delicious, and they're packed with protein, and it's definitely a healthier way to have a little bit of indulgence on your sweet tooth.
Definitely. You're listening to the Let's Sign Out show right here on AM 1050, and with us is Shanacy, Ireland, and we're talking about a great company that just came out with a great product called Bon de Ville, and it's BON-DEVIL.com. That's all the information you want. You can get it online. You can get it at various stores, different stores I know that are around us. But there's this what's neat about that. It's very different, and the flavors too. There's a lot of different flavor profiles, which I think is excellent.
Yeah, there are. They have a vanilla. They have a chocolate. They have salted caramel. I don't know if you pronounce it caramel or caramel. There, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think Californians have one way or another. There's no wrong way.
Tomato, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay, good. Hey, it doesn't matter if it tastes good, right, guys?
Exactly.
Yeah, so they've got a variety of different flavors, and I've even used these as little tiny mini parfaits. If you're going to be hosting anything in the new year, you can serve them as a dessert with, perhaps you have crushed Oreos at the bottom, which are also dairy-free as well, for anyone that didn't know that. You can use crushed Oreos at the bottom, have the ganache, maybe top it with some strawberries or blueberries. You can make it into a little mini parfait. You can actually serve it on the top of your pie. There's so many different things you can do with this. Or, as I mentioned earlier, you can just eat it straight out of the pudding cup as well. That
was our favorite. We wanted something sweet, and you go, let's try it.
I like the sweet and salty mix, so I like to dip like pretzels and stuff in it. That's what's so good because it gives you the sweet and salty, and then I'll dip some strawberries as like a little charcuterie board of a little dessert
dried fruit.
Yeah, dried fruit and dipping it in there. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely delicious. And for anyone that's listening, as you mentioned, it's spelled Bon Devil, but it's pronounced Deville, such as Cruella Deville, and it's just as devilish because it's so delicious, it's so delectable, very rich in flavor. But I think that anyone that's curious about it, give it a try. It's really fantastic.
And again, it's not like eating ice cream where you tend to eat a quart at a time. It quenches your sweet tooth. It does a great job at that.
Well, it's so rich, and then it's no dairy because I'm lactose intolerant. No gluten, no lactose, and then it's actually under 120 calories each little cup. Right. So I mean, it little does go a long way for 120 calories. Hey, bring more to me.
Right.
Absolutely. And if one of your goals is fitness, or if anyone listening wants to lose weight, or it's all about celebrating, as you mentioned earlier, celebrating those little milestones. So this is just a really somewhat healthy, low-calorie way to reward yourself for perhaps a good week of hitting the gym, or even organizing or decluttering, or whatever your goal may be.
Right, and so the kids can eat the regular pudding cups, and then then you got this for us adults. It's like, oh, God, this is
Adult
great.
version of the yummy pudding.
Yeah, very, very clever. So again, the website is bone-deville.com, and you can get it at Bristol Farms and pretty much a lot of different gourmet markets. And just go on the website there; they have information on that. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon or straight on from the website. But really good stuff on it. Anything else you want to add to this? I'm getting hungry already.
I know. Well, I mean, you had mentioned the kids can just have the pudding cups. I have a shelf full of these in my refrigerator, and the kids are always like, "Can I have that?" And I'm like, "Nope, you sure can't." So that's all for mom right there. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's really delicious, and hopefully everyone listening just kind of take those goals with just little tiny steps, and don't forget to reward yourself as well.
Right. Are they planning on coming out with any new flavors that you can talk about?
I don't think so at this time. I think the three main flavors are there for a little while. Those ones are really wildly popular. But I have not heard of any new flavors yet for 2023. But I'll keep you guys posted if I hear something.
Yeah, I've never heard of a product like this, so I was really
Well, and you can, people that have parties or whatever, you can make mixed drinks, dessert drinks, or after dinner, like sweet, something. This is perfect because it's just small enough where you can kind of make if you want to make mixed drinks, you can probably get 2 mixed drinks out of one little cup. So, I mean, it goes a long way without dairy.
Yeah, you can do a lot of stuff
It
with
does. It does. And what I like about it is because they are so little, I think people are more prone to grab a dessert perhaps at a party if it's in a little smaller container. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You see those little tiny shot glasses full of just little cakes or even a cake pop or a smaller brownie or things of that nature. And so because these are in such a small serving size, I think people will be more likely to grab them as well.
Can you imagine just a big fresh strawberry?
Oh, yeah. I was dipping some in there.
Yeah.
It was so good. Like,
But I'm saying just as a cup to have
my gosh.
to have it on there just as a display. And
Yeah.
You have cookies and cakes and all that stuff. And you have these beautiful cups with beautiful strawberry.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hungry. That's definitely one of my things.
Now I'm going to run home and get some more of this for dessert
I know.
before my dinner.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. And anytime you have any new products, give me a call back and we'll have you back on.
Would love to. Thank you guys. Happy New
You
Year.
too. Be
Happy
well.
New Year to
Take
you.
care.
Bye.
Oh, God. Great food. What a good ending. That was a great product. Really enjoyed it. And
So it's spelled Bon, BONDEVIL.
DeVille.
Yep.
Bon DeVille.
Bon-DeVille.com. But the product sells called Bon DeVille. So look for those. It's definitely sinfully good.
And it's spelled like devil, so it's devilly delicious.
It is definitely
That was
delicious.
pretty good, wasn't it? Yeah. So anyway, again, Happy New Year to everybody. Hope be healthy. We're on every for anybody listening for the first time. We're on every Saturday from 4 to 5 on AM 1050 and 106.5 FM.
Do you know where you are? Well, you've done it now. You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda, your CNBC news station. So expect the unexpected.
This segment sponsored by the generous support of the Dream Team. Looking for the keys to something bigger and better? Downsizing or relocating to the perfect spot? Oscar Ramirez from Century 21 Lois Lauer Real Estate and Matt Flores from Secure Choice Lending are here to help you sell or buy with their trusted and experienced knowledge and advice. People are calling Oscar and Matt at 951-751-3249. That's 951-751-3249. Real estate and loan advisors Oscar and Matt can give you a no-cost consultation. You don't have to buy anything. Matt and Oscar can help you figure your way through the complicated real estate